I feel like even though I'm a Canucks fan, I feel like, even when you're a Canucks fan, it was hard to hate the Colorado Avalanche, even though every fiber of you wanted to hate the Colorado Avalanche. It was hard to hate guys like Sakic and Peter Forsberg, but I always just had a real soft spot for Peter Forsberg. Just the way that he worked his game, it just, I feel like he was the original skilled power forward. I know there was a bunch out there, but there's just something about his game where he was, a top five talent in the league, but he also just threw those reversed hits and was just super hard to play against. So I think Peter Forsberg was always kind of, my go-to guy. I also always had a bit of I always really liked Shea Weber. By no means a defenseman, but for whatever reason, I loved the way that Shea Weber played. Just a massive, brutal guy from the back end, but also just had that clapper. And, I'll never forget the time that he slap shot the puck through the net with Team Canada that one time. And yeah, it was just, I always just liked Shea Weber.
All right, let's do that segue. Do you have a favorite past Canuck?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's always a bit of a cop out, but growing up, I was always just a big Marcus Naslund guy. He was around from my heyday of being a fan. From being like 12 to 17. It was Marcus Naslund. He was just always there. He was just such a great guy off the ice. And I don't know, at a young age, or not even a young age, I guess 12, I got his jersey and he was just always my go-to guy. Like I said, it's a bit of a cop out, but Marcus Naslund was always my guy.
All right, favorite current Canuck?
Favorite current Canuck? That's a good question. Can I say DPD? Elias Pettersson? I'm going to go with him. I know he's kind of on the cusp, but he's going to make the team out of camp in my opinion. So I think right now he's honestly my favorite. I've loved him as a prospect from day one, and now he's just the one thing I love about him is he's looked the same every single rank that he goes through, and this is just what you're getting with DPD. And so I love the kid. He's just a brute. Speaking of Shea Weber, right? Like obviously not Shea Weber, but just the way that he plays, just that rugged style. I just love it.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite Canucks moment?
Ooh, favorite Canucks moment. I mean, again, I guess a bit of a cop out, but anything from that 2011 Cup run. For me, I'm 35 now, so for me, I'm in my early 20s. Nothing really in life mattered other than every second night watching a Canucks game, hanging out with my buddies, and everything from that stretch is just, some of the best memories I have, just, watching it on a consistent basis. Obviously there's slaying the dragon, just basically everything. But I also, being a Marcus Naslund guy, I'll never forget the one moment where he's coming up the wing. They're down to Calgary with seconds left and he cuts towards the middle, and then Matt Cook delivers that, the empty net there to tie it up with seconds left. And